Okay, let's continue on the word of the Most High. I was in Luke 21:20, and it says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is near." Right? Know that this time is when the Israelites going to go through what was written that we have to go through. In 70 AD this happened. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. And we flee into the mountains, that's going into Egypt and the land of Africa. Well, it's really all Africa, but it's still the land of Africa for edification's sake. And it said, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. If you're in the midst, he say, get out. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. Don't come back into Judea, he's saying. For these be the days of vengeance. Remember it says, the violent take it by force. For these be the days of vengeance. The violent Romans going to take it by force. We're going to read about this in a history book. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right? We're going to see what was written also. But we're going to go to a book called Babylon the Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor on page 84, and it reads, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. So from 65 BC all the way to 70 AD, who's dealing with these Romans. And from 65 AD, for 5 years, to 70 AD, we were at war with them. That's why the Bible stops approximately 65 AD. Then it picks up when h.o.i is visiting John the Revelator on the island of Patmos some 20-something years later, because it's between 90 to 96 AD that Revelations was being described, and so forth. So, once again, it says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. As they say, well, we're not Jewish. I.u.c. is the suffix meaning pertaining to being like. We are the real Judah. Because Jew is short for Judah. The kingdom of Judah. With great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves, he says. But like I said, we're not Jewish. I.u.c. is a suffix pertaining to being like a Jew. We are the Jews. And he equates Deuteronomy 28:64 with it. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, even which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Christianity and Islam, or the rock stone and Buddha, you name it, we all involved in it. It says the prophecy and all the residue of the prophecies contained in Deuteronomy 28:15-68 befell the black Jews after they disobeyed the laws of the Most High. Many nations transported the Jews into slavery, and the sons of Israel transmigrated to every continent, right? So that's just a little something. But let me make sure that I let you know that we wasn't just running around with no dang on diapers on our butts. Like we didn't have no type of culture or whatever. Let's read from Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor on page 90. And it reads, the Jews imported into the western part of Africa a superior material, educational, and moral culture soon after 300 AD. And this cultural advancement was not duplicated or succeeded until the ascendancy of the Mohammedan leader Musa Kankan Musa of Mali in 1312 AD. In the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, the Africans on the west coast did not possess the cultural superiority of the Africans on the north and east coast. It says the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Like I said, we wouldn't run around Africa with no diapers on, butt naked and all that. Because of the stability of the black Jewish culture, the Jews were not observed into the autochthonous population. In fact, the Jews observed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. So they didn't come over there and get some nobodies. We were industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturists, etc. See, so we wasn't no non-productive people who they came and got. We were very industrious. We built America. So now, that's just a little history there. Go back to Luke 21 and verse 24. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. That's why we just read about what the historian Rudolph R. Windsor wrote. That coincides right with the scripture. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, because we were fighting from 65 to 70 AD, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And that time is coming quickly. So now, that's that. Now let's go to Luke 19. Luke the 19th chapter, because he warned us as he was on the earth. He warned us. Look at Luke 19 and 41. Luke 19 and 41. And when he was come near, he beheld the city. He looked at our city, Judea, Jerusalem, in the land of Israel, and wept over it, started to cry, knowing what's getting ready to happen, what's going down. Years after he ascended to the right hand side of the Most High, though, but it still was going down. Because he knew, just like we're reading about prophecies that's going to happen, that has not happened yet, but it's going to happen. And can't nobody stop it. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, started to cry, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the day shall come upon thee. Listen what he said. This is the words of a Mashiach  For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies He's telling them that your enemies shall cast a trench about thee. That ain't your friends. He calling the Romans our enemies, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee. Gonna cast a trench around us and compass thee around and keep thee in on every side. They're gonna cast a trench around Jerusalem and keep us in on every side. You can't go in, you can't come out. That's why he said, hey, he just told us what to do. Because he said they casting a trench around you and you better go out or come in. And shall lay thee even with the ground, killing you, flatline you, shall lay you even with the ground, and thy children within thee, taking the children. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. You ain't know when he was going to come. You ain't know when all this was going down. And since you there, look at Luke 19:14. This for 2/3 of our people, then, now, and forever. But his citizens, who are his people, hated him. See, they hated him. They ain't love him. Go to Isaiah, 53rd chapter. His citizens, people, his own people hated him. That's why I say he came unto his own received him not. His own people hated him. Go to Isaiah, the 53rd chapter, verse 3. So he is despised and rejected of men. It's Mashiach Yahushua, who we reading about. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows. He just wept over the city, knowing that it's getting ready to be taken down. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and where he esteemed him not. See? They didn't care nothing about him, except for the 1/3. Look at verse 2. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. Root out of a dry ground means you got no water. How's it going to survive? He had no form nor comeliness. He wasn't handsome. He wasn't all built. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. So he wasn't handsome. So there was no beauty that the people would desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, sadness. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. See. Going back to Luke 19:14. But his citizens, his own people, the Israelites, hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. Right? So they sent a message to him saying, we would not have you reign over us. Mashiach Yahushua, the anointed Savior. What did he tell you? What did he say? Luke 19:27. He said, but those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, and any of you out there that don't want a Mashiach Yahushua to reign over you, he said, bring hither, bring them in front of me, and slay them before me. He said, bring them in front of him and kill them before him. But you don't read that in church. That's what Mashiach Yahushua, a man of war. He said, but those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither, bring them in front of me, and slay them before me. Kill them right before me. That's going to happen, people. Go to 1 Corinthians 16:22. 1 Corinthians 16:22. He said, if any man love not our master, Mashiach Yahushua, let him be anathema maranatha. Let him be accursed, he's saying. You don't love Mashiach Yahushua, let him be accursed. And anathema maranatha. That means let him be accursed. Straight up. So, you see what happened to us. Now, he said as it's written, so let's go to Psalms, the 79th chapter. and see what was prophesied to happen. You see that this is what we're reading about when he told us that the city going to be compassed with armies, and they're going to lay us down to the ground, kill us, and carry us away captives into all these countries and so forth. Psalm 79:1. O Most High, the heathen, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, predominantly the Romans, are come into thine inheritance. What's the Most High's inheritance? Let's find out. Deuteronomy 32 and 8 and 9. Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. When the Most High divided to the nations, not integrated the nations, but he divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he didn't integrate the sons of Adam, but he separated all the sons of Adam, meaning he gave every man their woman, he gave them their land to live in. As a nation, he separated all the sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. See that? So he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Most High's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So the Israelites are the lot of the Most High's inheritance. That's what he's talking about. Ecclesiasticus 24 and 8. Ecclesiasticus 24 and 8. So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel. See? So that's the Most High's inheritance is Israel. So when we got to go back to Psalm 79. Psalm the 79th chapter. And it says, O Most High, the heathen are come into thine inheritance, which is the land of Israel, and his people, the Israelites. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. This is what happened to us in 70 AD. This is a prophecy. The dead bodies of thy servants, who are the servants? The Israelites are the servants. Not anyone else, not any other nation. They should be able to go into these scriptures and prove that they're the servants, shouldn't it? If they are. If not, then the servants are who? Isaiah 44, and we're going to get right to the point, verse 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. So, there it is. The Israelites are the Most High's servants. So, going back to Psalm 79 and 1, O Most High, the heathen, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, are coming to thine inheritance, the land of Israel, amongst the Israelites. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. The dead bodies of thy servants, the 12 tribes of Israel, those that were there, predominantly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and those tribes, other tribes that were joined with us at that time, have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven. So nobody buried us. The dead bodies of thy servants, the 12 tribes of Israel, the remnant of those of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, have they given to be meat unto the fowls of the heaven. The flesh of thy saints, we know the saints are the 12 tribes of Israel, unto the beasts of the earth. Beasts were eating us up. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. That's why the buzzards and beasts were eating our bodies. We have become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. We ain't follow the law, such commandments of the Most High. How long, Most High, wilt thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Pour out that wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee. And that's real, because when you look at Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, right to the point, it tell you. They're going to be amazed at our strangers of our salvation, but it says, we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness, and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, the way of the Most High and Mashiach, we have not known it. This is when salvation is coming to Israel. Because it said, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness in the face of such as afflicted them and made no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. So that's powers and authority coming to the Israelites, right? This is what they're going to say in verse 7. We reared ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, the way of Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. Known is past tense. This is the future prophecy. They're going to say that they never know the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua. That's why he's saying here in Psalm 79:6, says, pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. But they have devoured Jacob and laid waste his dwelling place. O remember not against us former iniquities. Let thy tender mercy speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Help us, O Most High, of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their power? I thought they had the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Where are they at now? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. You hear that? We killed all your people, your loved ones, who you say you love. What they say? Look. Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. He gonna revenge them. He gonna revenge their blood. You better believe that. Let the sign of the prisoner come before thee, according to the greatness of thy power. Preserve thou those that are appointed to die, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, their disgrace, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Most High. So we thy people and sheep of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. See, we messed up though. He told us he's going to do it. He told us he's going to do it. We just read about it in Deuteronomy 28:64, but many places he told us he was going to do it. We just, especially now you're taught you have your own free will. You have your own free will to choose life or death. It's only the free will you have. And he's not playing, boy. Some people take it as this joke. That's why I go to Zechariah 1:15. Moses said, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. Well, I was but a little displeased. He was just but a little displeased with us. And they helped forward the affliction. Did more than what they were supposed to do. He said it was just a little displeased. They helped forward the affliction. So it's a long time that we're looking at the Most High has to fulfill all that he said he would do. And this is it. This is it. This is our last captivity. And now that we know what we know, according to the scriptures, you name any prophet, we can go there. Yes, I can. They all prophesied a downfall of this kingdom. That's why it said in Lamentations 4:22, the punishment of thine iniquity for us today, Israel, Yahshua, is accomplished. That's why he told us go to Isaiah 40, the 40th chapter, the first verse. Isaiah 40:1. Say, comfort ye my people, said the Most High. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, which are the Israelites, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. It's to us, Yasharala. Our iniquity is pardoned, for she have received of the Most High's hand double for all her sins. So the Most High said it was just a little displeased. They afford the affliction. So we got double for all our sins. So Lamentations 4:22 says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. That's what you said, comfort. Be comforted, knowing that we got next forever and ever and ever. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He would no more carry thee away into captivity. Meaning we're not going into captivity no more. So it couldn't be before the time that we've been reading about in the Babylonian or the Persian Mede Empire or the Greek Empire or the Roman Empire, because we were in captivity at that time under another nation. We didn't have our own. We had our own, but we were still under tributary, paying tributary or taxes or whatever, dealing with Romans being over us. That's why the wicked Pharisees and scribes and Sadducees, all of them was like hooked in with the Romans. But he's telling us, Lamentations 4:22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. And we read where Zion represents the 12 tribes of Israel. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. Remember, we virgin daughter of Babylon, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. He's going to discover your sins. And once he starts to discover your sins, then you're going to see. What these prophecies are saying, why Mashiach said it was the Pharisees' hour, but the power of darkness that came upon the earth when they took him as the day or the light that was shining bright while he was here, able to work the works of showing us the Most High and our power and understanding of what they had to go by, the law and the prophets. When they took him away, they took the light away. What they leave? Darkness. That's why it said in Isaiah 16:2 that the people are going to be in gross darkness, gross ignorance. That's why when we bring forth the truth, it's foreign to people because first and foremost, they have us programmed, so if you will keep stuff from us, you put it where? In a book. In a book. And this is the most important book that we need to know is the Bible. You can't match any other book with it. No book gonna give you prophecy as we see that's going down. That's why Israel, you gotta be ready for what's going down and stop sinning, stop breaking the Most High's laws. Look, Revelation 12 and 9, or Revelation 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. So this represents a red dragon. The color of it is red, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads are the 7 leading empires of the Edomite nations, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, the British. And the 10 heads are the e.c. or NATO or the European community, e.c. European Economic Community, or the e.c. European Community, or the NATO, they call it that support the 7 heads and 7 crowns upon her heads, meaning she's with power, who's with authority. So Revelation 12 and 9 says, and the great dragon who was red was cast out, that old serpent who had to be red, called the devil, who had to be red. They show you that, red devil. pitchfork and so forth, but it's not. That's a lie. But it is red, because it said, verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. So we know the dragon is red. Say in verse 9 says, and the great dragon, which is red, we just defined that, was cast out. That old serpent. So what color is the serpent? Red. Called the devil. So the devil had to be what? Red. And Satan, so Satan had to be what? Red. Which deceiveth the whole world. See, deceiveth the whole world. Lied to the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This ain't talking about no fallen angels neither. Because they right here. Cast out into the earth, right here, on this earth. Doing what? Going up and down, to and fro, seeing what they can devour. Who calling on them? You call upon them, they there right for you. They right here on this earth, going up and down, to and fro in the earth to this devour you. That's why you got to deal with the wiles of the devil. So go back to Ephesians. Wait a minute, let me go. I want one more. Verse 12 and 15. And the serpent, which is red, and Esau is red. When you read Genesis 25:20, the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. They call his name Esau. So he fit right in here. And the serpent, I mean, it's like without, you really understand it, unless you knew all of the things that was already written before you get to Revelation, you might not understand it. But I'm giving you the understanding. It said the serpent, which is red, cast out of his mouth water as a flood. You already said deceive the whole world. So deceit is lies. So he cast out water as a flood after the woman, which represents Israel. When you read Jeremiah 6:2, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. So the serpent casting out all these lies after the woman, after Israel, to make sure that y'all believe the lies, 2/3 of our people, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, or the lies. Be carried away to believe in the lies. The white man's the Most High. The white man's the h.o.d.c. The Jewish people are the children of Israel. They call themselves Jewish. ISH meaning the suffix meaning pertaining to being like a Jew. And they call themselves Israeli. When I say the I is an I sound or is sound. They saying E sound. So I say Israel lie. h.o.d.c called them bastards in Zechariah 9:6. And the bastards shall dwell in Ashdod. That means the fatherless child. They're not the children of the Most High. We are. It says, listen. So the serpent, lied to the whole world, cast out of his mouth a lot of lies. After the woman, which is Israel, the Israelites, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, or the lies. Listen, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which is the lies in abundance, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. See? So the lies have been captured. We done captured the lies and pulled down on strongholds as the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, in these last days. So what's going to happen? And the dragon was wroth with the woman. The dragon going to be wroth. That's how it's coded. Dragon going to be wroth with who? The Israelites. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's the 1/3. They ain't got to be concerned about it. You did it say the whole house of Israel? No, the remnant, the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, of her seed. That do what? Which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. That's where it is. Look at 2nd Ezra 2 and 26 of this. So yeah, we swallowed up the lies. We got the information to be able to swallow it all up. 2nd Ezra 2:26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. You hear that? Most High said, as for the servants, we didn't define the servants as the Israelites, whom I have given thee, the Most High gave us. into your hands, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Okay? So, this is what's going on. But they're going to try. That's why you got to be spiritually endowed with the power of the Most High, by Hashama myself, the name of the Lord and Savior, that we may be able to sustain ourselves in these last days. We want to be right here. We want to be right here. Yasharala. Go to Job 5:19. This is where we want to be. And all this go down. It's going down. Most High is not a man, he shall lie. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, but whatever they got to say, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shall thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. You know they're going to be eating people up. But thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle, our body, shall be in peace. And thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shall not sin. That's important. And sin is the transgression of the Most High's law. So these are the ones that's not going to be sinning. See? Thou shalt know also that thy seed, our lineage, our children, shall be great, and thine offspring as the grass of the earth. He said one going to have 1,000. He said our offspring going to be as the grass of the earth. See? So that's where we want to be, Yasharala. Hopefully. So let's go back to Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6. I got some other information I want to bring out. Ephesians 6 and 14. Say, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth. Your loins girt about with the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, which is the truth. And having on the breastplate of righteousness. Right? The breastplate of righteousness is, no matter how you look at it, is the truth, and the righteousness is dealing with the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Learning them, living them, applying them in our life continually. So now let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon 5:18. About this breastplate. Wisdom of Solomon 5:18. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate. The laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of an helmet. See? So it says, Wisdom of Solomon, Ephesians 6:15, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. We're moving with the gospel of peace for our people. Above all, taking the shield of faith. You got to have that faith, brothers and sisters. In the Mashiach Yahushua. Going to the Most High on our behalf, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. They shoot them. They be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. That's why it says in verse 18, ye shall put on righteousness as a breastplate and true judgment instead of an helmet. See? It says, verse 19, he shall take holiness for an invisible shield. Hear that? Holiness for an invisible shield. Okay? It says, above all, verse 16 of Ephesians 6:16, above all, taking the shield of faith, the invincible shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Yes. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. Point blank. That's why he says, Wisdom of Solomon 5:20, his severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts, these missiles, go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. Like they got them silos coming, them missiles coming out of the ground, them silos and so forth. And he's going to come from the clouds too. They're going to be shooting them from up in the air. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them. Gonna have the sea raise up against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. But remember, he's not gonna drown. He's not gonna drown everybody with the flood. He used fire this time. Yeah, a mighty wind. That's this nuclear power, nuclear destruction. Yeah, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. You hear that? So that's the future prophecy. So when you look at going back to Ephesians 6 and 12, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." As he said, hey, the power of darkness, he had to deal with that. So we wrestling against not flesh and blood, but against rulers of the darkness of this world. Rulers are set up. I mean, Daniel's. Most I set these rulers up. He ruling the kingdom of men. He set them up. So can't nobody say they ain't had no opportunity. Everybody had opportunity. Daniel's 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that we the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men. It's the last kingdom that he set up, is the basis of men. So now we look at Ephesians 6, and we're going to look into it. Ephesians 6 and 12, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places," spiritual high-level demons, right? So I have a book that I want to bring out. It's called Occult Holidays or God's Holy Days, Which, by Fred R. Coulter. Now, I'm gonna jump to, just from what he's saying, these things that we're dealing with. I'm gonna read some in this book on page 25. I'm gonna start with occult and violence in films, just to show you how they're doing it. Said this sensitization towards and the seduction into postmodern pagan spirituality in our modern culture can also be illustrated by the popularity of occult themes in entertainment. It says, occult themes provide popular material for TV shows and movies, escalating in the 1960s with the hit Rosemary's Baby, 1968. Hollywood began to churn out increasing numbers of films with dark occult themes. Rosemary's Baby featured a young woman who